Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a nice long weekend. It is February 17th, Tuesday. Monday was closed. Happy birthday, George Washington. I think. George Washington? Yeah, pretty sure. We're gonna look at some SPY 0-day options and the small account challenge this Tuesday. Last week was a lot of volatility, a lot of selling off. We're below our moving averages here on the 30-minute. This is Eric's chart. You can find him SPY day trading on YouTube. Discord link for his Discord and mine are in the description. Today, let's see, no gap today. Opened here and opened here, rallied up, sold off, completed this inverse cup, this large inverse cup, stuck in the green, and then broke the green, made a nice cup here, handle, broke out, retraced up to 5 days opening or lowest print on the day, and then grinded down this orange. So we possibly are still in this orange selling channel. As Eric states, if we are in a downtrend, it'll be bouncing off on the daily between the daily Bollinger, the bottom, and the 5-day. So today was maybe our 5-day test. We'll see. You can watch his videos for more macro analysis. Range today was pretty large, still pretty large range overall. I don't even know what it ended up being. Yeah, 9 points, 10 points basically. So Ivy was still a little bit cranked, and these candles are big. We've got a lot of 1-point candles. Just liquidity build is even like a 0.5 point, so pretty risky out there. So first thing I charted, let's see, my order is, yeah, it was basically purple and then gray. So I got purple here for this potential for buying, and then gray I got from this resistance and this support for potential for bullish controlled selling, just it breaking here and then retesting it. So I wasn't too clear on the bullish controlled selling though. Structure wasn't too obvious to me at that point. So it broke purple here. You know, you could have gone an early trade on that, but I was trying to wait. Got this gold for the aggressive selling, completed the inverse cup, and so at that point I wasn't too sure again what the controlled buying was for the bears or the bulls. I think I did chart that one next, that red. So it would have been purple, gray, gold. Oh yeah, gold and then red. I was trying to figure out what the bulls were using to build liquidity, and I think it was this red. I think this is the one I continue to use throughout the day. Yeah, but I'm not too confident on this one today. I feel like the higher IV days, it's just when there's more volatility, it's sometimes harder to see. I don't know, but sometimes it's easier. I don't know, maybe it has nothing to do with it. Yeah, so resistance flipped to support. We also have some resistances up here. That's where I got that. I was basically looking for it to break that. As I went along trading today, I was deleting stuff that I wasn't using. So for the recap, it's kind of annoying, so you can't see what I was looking at, but it helps me when I'm trading. So I would have, once the inverse cup closed, I would have put this here. I would have also probably put this purple here. And it wicked up to VWAP. I mean, these candles are big. 681.32, 680. So that's over a point right there. Yeah, I wasn't too interested in this action right here. However, I then did get, just because it didn't really build liquidity on this at all, just kind of broke it. I then did get this gold. No, the gold wasn't that. What did I have? Maybe it was after that. Oh, it's that other gold. So I had green next. Yeah, I didn't have that gold. It broke down here. I feel like I did have that gold, but maybe not. Oh, it was this gray. Yeah, this gray I had. So this candle was crazy. A lot of volume. Actually, that's right. All right, let's get into the trades here. I'm now remembering where I took trades. So I didn't have gold. I did have this gray though. I wanted a better handle, more clear building liquidity on this red down here, but it didn't. It just did a tiny little handle and then flushed. And on the 30-minute, yeah, we were just still selling that more aggressive green selling. So came down. Look at this freaking candle. 680, 63, 679, 30. Yeah, these candles are gnarly. Came down, broke the gray, which again, I wasn't a whole lot of confidence from it. It was from this resistance, this support. I haven't looked at Eric's 1 minute. I'm curious how it lines up. Broke that, and so I'm like, all right, well, I've got this gold. That's a pretty convinced on that selling, that aggressive sellers selling in that that velocity, that channel. So threw that in there. Ideally, I was waiting for like a little gray retest, or potentially gold. I was gonna use gold with my stop, or gray, either one. So had a little bounce here, and I actually jumped in, and pretty close to the money, being early candles. So it was kind of expensive, 152. It was $1.52 for this contract. I got one for 676. So yeah, still pretty, still a strike out of the money at least, like 2 strikes. Crazy. We had this blue line right down. All right, no, this blue line was yesterday's low. So I threw that in for potential support, completing the inverse cup with yesterday, and then a couple supports down here. So that was yesterday's low, which is right here, that blue line. And then the bottom of this whole action down here, which is this larger inverse cup, I put in for this line right here, which it actually clipped perfectly. I put that in before it got there. Anyways, so I jumped in on a put right here based on it breaking that into a steeper selling. Bit of a chase. 952, one at 952, it costs $1.52. Sold it at 953. So 952.35 to 953.36. Sold it for $1.84. So that's half a point. Sold it on this candle. So basically completing the inverse cut from yesterday. It was pretty early on that candle. Got a nice fill. Got a nice fill here too, actually. Because it was a little bit green. It was like up here in green. And I jumped in with gold be my stop. And then, so it was 978.66, 977.74. So yeah, it was a point. It was actually a point. That's all I'm really looking for. And that was $1.52 to $1.84. So a great first trade. You know, when I'm kind of averaging $50 a day on a green day, I'm like, well, that's almost there. I think it was like 39 or something. It was close. So I was like, all right, let's just take it easy, because this price action is gnarly for this small of an account. And like, yeah, so it sold off further than that, which I didn't catch, which is fine. Yeah, a little further. Next thing of course was charting the red, trying to find out another entry. Then move down. That actually looks nicer. Huh. Oh, this was for over here, I think. Yeah. Next trade was at 1029. What was it called? So broke back up into the white. Oh yeah, and this is when I then put in this gold. Retested VWAP. Yeah. I didn't have his gold here. Like you can see, it's kind of confusing. I mean, it's like, okay, yeah, take a VWAP trade, but I'm not really in the business of that at this point. Sometimes maybe. Early candles, high IV, I'm trying to be more defensive. So 1029 came down here. Oh yeah, that's right. Yep. So this was me trying to get a zombie or zone of mutual interest or retracement trade. Basically, since we had closed that cup, we're building liquidity on this. It looked like it was starting to bounce here with these wicks. So this trade was to basically catch the bottom of the wedge and try and catch it to back up to VWAP or here or here. I guess the problem with here is this is such a head looking price action, and this is definitely liquidity. But regardless, I had my stops and my risk defined with this red. So 20, let's see, 1029 opened up for $1.08, closed it at 1030 for 99 cents right here. Oh yeah, even this candle, what is this? 77.64, 76, 82. Yeah, that's almost a point. Just this random little candle. So once I stopped out of that, I'm like, well, that's what I was waiting for to get puts. So head and shoulders here, retest on VWAP. I said there is more downside to close that larger inverse cup on the 30-minute. And so I actually flipped. Close out of the put. Or close out of the call. For a small loss. Bought a put at 10:30:51, so 20 seconds later. There's a 675 put. So pretty close to the money. I mean, these were expensive. That was $1.50. Closed it at 10:33. Yep, it was on that candle. Legit. This was a volatile candle too. Pretty big volume. It was spiky, so I got nice slippage on that. Didn't have this gold in here at that point. No, I didn't have it in there at that point. The close was a couple reasons, I think. Well, a lot of volatility, just big slippage through low of day. Or actually, no, I'm sorry, I didn't close it down here. I closed it like up here. It was a little earlier. I would have gotten a better fill if yeah, close it down here. I closed it like right here. Low of day, I knew this was a support potentially. And gold, I think it maybe broke gold and then came down. Let's see, opened here, came up, came down. Hard to know when it did which, but it was just a nice slippage to the downside, and it just retested low of day. So closed out on that one for $1.50 to $1.76. So yeah, at that point I think I was up 49. I was like, cool, I'm done. Like, that's good. I wasn't actually done, of course. Like, I was gonna keep an eye, but I was trying to just chill out a bit. Then this starts to happen, this crazy move. This would have been a great retracement trade, and that's the problem with kind of checking out. I want to give my mind a break, and because it just takes all your focus. So yeah, if I keep that level of focus, I feel like I could definitely take a retracement here. Maybe on the retest of this white. Maybe on this up here. I was actually looking at it here. I'm like trying to figure out where I would go long on the retrace. The problem at this point, sorry, something in my teeth. The problem at this point was we're still selling in the green, so I was trying to be very careful not to catch a bounce until we at least break out of the green. That didn't break out to that 11 o'clock candle, which is, yeah, it's like right here. Boom. So here, I think I had gold at that point. So I had this gold channel. I was more looking at the white, but I wasn't too confident in any of them, honestly, because white didn't really show me a whole lot. I only had it up here, and then after that, it didn't really show itself to me. This gold was more obvious. There's this little break and retest. Anyways, yeah, I mean, I guess at this point, once it broke that, I could have just charted this gray and just used that. Or actually, no, look. So this gray was actually not as steep. Or this is steeper. I charted this to this buying, because these were steeper. This one was probably more like that. So yeah, I was kind of fine with it. Like, I didn't know where I'd want to go long, honestly, and I was like, well, if cup closes, I mean, then there'll be different options. Of course, it'd be nice to caught some of this move up, but yeah, you got to be able to define your risk, and I guess I didn't want to. I don't know. So didn't catch any of that, which is fine. Next trade was at 11:23, so yeah, an hour later. At that point, we had closed the cup, and we broken out on 30-minute of the green selling. So the point for this trade, it'd be hard to see because I don't have my lines anymore up here. Well, yeah, you can imagine I put them so. You never know how big of a handle you're gonna get. I put that one there, I'm sure. I put one here. And let's see. So didn't take it on that break. I'm like, this is too tight of structure. Enough of a retrace. Who knew it was gonna take 3 hours? And then it broke it, but then I'm like, well, I can get on a retest. So then it looks like it breaks this gold, right? And is retesting it. Technically, it had closed the cup not until here. That was another reason why I didn't take any of this. It was tiny action too, but then once it closed that cup, I'm like, okay, retested here, and then I jump in on this candle. We're seeing it now. I was like, oh, that's a stupid entry. But my risks were defined with this gray. And I thought, it wants 5-day. That's where it wants to go. And, I don't know how big the handle's going to be. So, yeah, I guess with that tiny of a handle, that's the whole move you're going to get. That's the point. So the bigger the liquidity that's being built, the bigger the move you're going to, the action to get past it. I guess more or less. So, yeah, jumped in there and let's see. No, it wasn't there. It was here actually. Yeah, because of that gray. I was trying to follow that gray. I got a little red candle there. When it's slower, I need to do more limit orders. So I was doing that more today, which was helping. When it's slower, I can really get a little better fills with limit orders. If it's like quick action, especially morning market orders, whatever. If it's on a breakout, market orders. But if if there's time, I need to just limit order. Anyways, jumped in there and got out 25. So that was 120 to 118. I got out on this candle once it broke my gray. So very tight stops and very minor red trade. And then I just charted this little blue, like wondering if it was kind of taper up here. I don't think it was doing that, I'm not sure, but fully completed the cup there, and I think I walked away for a bit there. Yep. Took off, and it proceeded to build many handles. 11:23. Let's see, next one was at 11:56. I got a call. So came down. This is always tricky. Where do you enter? So for my charting, I didn't have a clear. So potentially this one, right? This red I charted with the low of day, which ended up being perfect. But at that point, I wasn't too confident. If you remember, all I really had was here. Like it kind of did it here. I guess I could have been more confident with the red. I guess the fact that it broke there didn't make me just fine. But yeah, this action and this action, I could have been more confident with that red. But definitely after here, I was like, oh wow, that was perfect. And of course, I was thinking that when I was up here, I'm like, the last stand would be jumping on calls down here. I didn't think I was going to make it there, but I wasn't too confident in that even being the support. Anyways, this next trade was 11:56, I think. Yeah, 11:56 to 11:57 calls. So came down, made a nice little inverse head. We got a shoulder up here for a cup and handle. Didn't even take it there. It hadn't broken gold yet. That's what it was. I was trying to be patient on it. I wanted to get it here, of course, but how would I have known? And anyways, came up here and I actually got it on this candle. This was such a whack job of me. Big green. Oh, you know what? That's because I actually wanted to get it before there, so probably some FOMO in me. I wanted to get it when it broke the white. You can see it was clearly rejecting white and build liquidity on that. And so I was like, all right, I should get it on white. And it just green candled right out. I had limit orders, didn't fill. And a green candle again, I'm like, ugh. And then up here, and then this candle's up here, it's green, and I open it, and I'm like, all right, I'll just use gray for my stop again. But sometimes later in the day, you can't. It very well could just come up here and kind of grind for a while and then rally, as long as it's flipping the resistance into support. So that's kind of in my head too, like, well, it might just not just buy up in gray, it might do something slower and retrace. And anyways, did this, and then this candle right here was insane. Just tons of volatility, huge volume, just woof, huge rejection. And I close out, I stop out like here. Let's see. Yeah, this was nasty. 11:56 to 11:57. 99 cents to 73 cents. So at least I had a higher out of the money strike because I was looking for 5-day, which is 684 I had to strike. But this was a huge loss. Gave back half my profits from those morning trades. Just one nasty candle, which was annoying. More than half my profits. Yeah, it's $26. Oh gosh, one stop, one nasty candle. 12:05. So then, let's see. Yeah, I had gold charted. 12:05. I put red here for this to be a support potentially. I got into this. It's hard to see now because I deleted stuff probably. Oh, just for this as a support. That's right. Red being a support. This is kind of a zombie trade, I guess, mutual interest trade, or just trying to catch the support, potentially for this handle, right? So this was my stop. It was a little high off of it, as you can see. This 1205 was pretty cheap by that point. It's 52 cents. So, but still paper cuts. Held this one until 64 cents. Held it till 52 cents at 1210 on this candle right here. This was another nasty candle. Yeah, so I stopped out from that red. And I'm like, okay, now most of my profits are gone. That was stupid. It was a tricky day so far. Somewhat, not tricky, I guess, high IV and just risky. Pretty straightforward, just risky. And I was up like a good average, the amount that I almost want to just quit on. And I'm giving back half. Oh, almost all of it actually at that point. Next trade was 12.26, 27. So nice inverse head here. We have a shoulder. Again, I don't know. I shouldn't have been trying to. It's because I really didn't want this move to happen without me, and that was my problem. So I kept trying to catch it before anticipating it. You don't want to try and predict. Like, don't predict. You have, yeah. I mean, my stops were tight, so it's fine. Like, you're making predictions all the time, but it's with defined risk, and it's much easier if there's confirmation. So confirmation would have been breaking this gold, especially a little retest on it. I was trying to catch it before that. I was trying to catch the head, the inverse head of it. And this looked like a beautiful one. This was a little bit of a reckless trade right here, though. It's been a while since I've done this, where I've gone up to like my profit target and then given it all back. 42 cents at 12.26 right here on this green candle. Came down and I was like, I'm out. This is stupid. And that's what happens when you don't have everything. Yeah, your confidence dwindles. So yeah, I just jump out on this candle right here because of gray also. So I was using gray for my stop. Broke down. One of those situations where I need to look at it on the vertical chart. However, yeah, I could tell I just wasn't quite. Yeah. So taking profits would have been on gold, and then getting back in on a break of gold. But yeah, I just wasn't quite there. So 42 cents to 35 cents. That one? 26 to 27. Yeah. And then next trade, that was, yeah, 42 to 35. And then this one, 12.30. 12.32. At this point, I think I'm break even, maybe a little red. I got mollywopped again by a nasty candle. 12.30. So I'm doing the same thing. It keeps buying up in gray. It hasn't broken out of gold yet, though, and this is why I have to wait. I'm trying to front run it too much. So I get in here, and then this candle, I just wasn't quick enough to get out, I guess. Yeah, I was like, because the way this one just played out, I just jumped out and then it ended up coming up, given it hadn't broken out completely yet. But I think that's why I held through this candle. And then this one was just a nasty flush, 681.93. That's a point flush right there, basically. And of course, I got bad slippage coming out of that one. That was 55 cents to 35 cents. Yeah, now I'm red. I'm not really looking at the P&L. I'm trying not to. I know I was red a little bit. Yeah, like 20 bucks. I'm like, what a lame job I'm doing. Then I'm like, all right, I have to wait. It's funny actually now looking at it. I didn't wait. I maybe should have. That's okay. I mean, yeah. Defined risk again. I guess it's still good. Let me show you what it was. 12.47. Is this? All right, 12.47. I got in. Oh yeah, this is a VWAP. I'm like, all right, if it comes to VWAP, I'll just enter there, and that'll be my stop. So, kind of wick through here. Got it on the retest on this candle. There's a problem with just trying to trade VWAP. And it comes up, and then big fleshy candle. I'm out. 52 on this candle out of the call. That was 20 cents to 16. My loss is smaller there because the contract's much cheaper. And then it comes down and starts bouncing perfectly on this red. I'm like, no way, was that red? Like, actual? Starts bounce on this red. Big engulfing candle here. Actually, before that, hold on. It starts bouncing on this red, and I was trying to enter a trade. I think even the last trade I was trying to enter, and it was saying I was out of buying power. I'm like, no way, I'm gonna miss this whole move being out of buying power. And so I started looking at my Webull. Like, I could just do a spread. Because my Webull, I'm kind of dedicating that to spreads. So, Webull. 677, 679 put credit spread. So, one strike out of the money. So 679 is here. It'd have to close above here to be worthless. It's chilling here. What time did I open this? I'm just thinking this will be my stop. I'll open it up. And I'll sit on it. I like credit. I like spreads. I like credit spreads. I opened it for 58 cents in premium, and I got 2 of them. That was the most I could get on this account. The account had like 340, 350 in it. Build time. Yeah, the fills on Webull are pretty awful. So when you add a spread, it's even worse. It's like bad. So 1256 I placed it, didn't fill till 1257. Wait a minute. Yeah, so I was trying to place it. I placed the limit orders down here, it just didn't fill, so I had to kind of chase it a little bit. Chase the price. This candle it finally filled on. Yeah, it wasn't a great fill. But honestly, with Webull, you're not gonna get a great fill either way. So got the spread there. I'm like, all right, the spread it's not too bad. I mean, like the fill, it's not like naked calls where this to this is the whole move. The spread it's something to sit on, like it's decaying as it's going on. As long as it's especially out of the money, and this was out of the money, so I wasn't looking at it. I'm sure it was down a little bit through here. But then I looked at my other account because I'm like, this could be a nice move, and I want exposure. So let's see, 1258. So yeah, I open it up on the Webull, and then right here I open up on here, and I'm like, I'm just gonna open it and just leave it. It's a cheap enough contract. Like, I'm not gonna just leave it. I'm gonna use this for my stop. So widen my stop from my normal stop range, because it's a cheaper contract. It's 23 cents. It was for 684, which I was targeting for 5-day. 5-day lowest print was like right here. This is the actual 5-day. Well, currently, but at one point 5-day was like right, like when it came down here, 5-day was like right here. So that's that print. Shout out Eric on that one. So yeah, right here I open that and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna do something else, set an alert from here. If it breaks here, I'm out. Sure, I'll lose some, but it's a cheap enough contract. I'm down on the day now. It sucks, and this is my last position anyways. I might as well just, not a lotto, but you know, wider spread, and just, I think this play is gonna play out. I don't want to manage it. I just want to let it go. So I guess that's kind of, yeah. Anyways, so I'd like to be able to do this. Yeah, so like the morning trades are fine. I'm more scalpy, in and out, build a little cushion, and then I'd like to be able to just comfortably do this without it having to be, because I'm out of buying power and I'm kind of just not YOLOing, but yeah. I'd see Eric do this some days and it's just crazy. He would, you know, whatever. He would get something and just hold it for so long before it actually moved. And it helps if you're up on the day. I do it when I'm down, I guess. I don't know. I think I do when I'm up, but it's just such small amounts. Anyways, 1258 got it. And just started playing games, honestly, on the computer. So I had my alert set here. I was watching a little bit. I'm like, whatever. Kept kind of grinding. So then I put in this for a take profit. Because I had 2 of the spreads on Webull. So I was going to take 1 profit here in case it rejected there. And then next one I was like, I'm waiting for 5-day. And I had an alert. You can't see it anymore, but I'll show you on Eric's 1-minute chart, which I'm actually very curious about. Did he chart today? Yeah, he did. You can see this is the lowest print on 5-day right here. 684.64. Look at that. Perfect. Well done there. So I had my alert for there. I actually want to review his his lines, see what lined up. It ripped up. I was so stoked. Ripped up. I'm trying to jump on Webull quick, trying to get a fill on that one contract, and I do. So I close one of them. That does this big rejection. I'm like, oh boy. I was still pretty confident though. A lot of volume. It had candles above it. That was just a little retrace here. I still had my call. Didn't even look at my call. Actually, I did look at my call. It's up like 140%, I think, by here. I'm like, I'm gonna hold this thing. I gotta hold it. So it came down. But then I did look at the PNL too, and I was just a little bit green. I was like green by like $15 or something, or $10. I was like, oh man. Or no, maybe it's more than that, because it was up with this velocity of candles. It was up pretty good. And I was like, oh, I want to take it, but I didn't. And then on Webull, so there, I closed one. So I opened it for 58 cents, closed one for 18 cents. So if you just flip that, if you aren't familiar with selling premium, say you bought a contract for 18 cents and you sold it for 58, it's the difference in the price. So instead I'm selling and collecting this money and I'm buying it back for that. So yeah, that first one was awesome. And I closed it at 1323, 123. So yeah, right on this candle filled me the limit. And then it kind of did this, and I was just thinking about my other account with the call. I'm like, oh, man, I don't want to be an idiot, and it comes back down. I just give it all back. So as I kind of climbed up here a little bit more, let's see where to actually get an exit on this thing. I didn't wait all the way on the other account. Oh, I did it. Oh, let's see. Okay, I did it right here, right there. Right there. Started just kind of grind, and I wanted to get out of it. It was very close to high of day. Sure, yeah, it went up another $50, which would have been sick. But I was just one contract, and it being kind of a YOLO. I was very happy to be able to get out of it and flip back to green from pretty ugly. Just actually, it's crazy. I'm green today on this candle that wrecked me. This candle, like I got basically the biggest candles of the day almost. I was going against them for some reason. I was in a position the opposite direction just before, and so yeah, I'm proud of the trades this morning. I think these were good. Midday, it's not patient enough, I guess. Yeah, not patient enough. I was trying to catch inverse head, and it turns out it was on my line. The spread, I'm stoked to open that up. I was out of buying power, so I'm like, I gotta try a spread because I think this is, whatever. And here are the trades. Those are the ones on. This ended up going, I can't see now. This ended up like doubling, I think. Going up more. But I'm actually green, $18. We were up 49. I was like, that looks nice. I just want to leave it. If I had other stuff like work that needed to be done, I'm probably able to find to just leave it. But maybe not. Once I see the cup close, I start thinking, okay, I need to get some exposure to this. However, on Webull, much better. $91 today on Webull. So happy about that. So that was on those two spreads. The second one I closed for 6 cents. So that was quite large actually. If you think of 6 cents to 58 cents. It's not quite like, it doesn't quite work like that as far as percentage, because I'm risking more than 6 cents, if that makes any sense. That reminds me of this trade though, the last trade. Look at this thing, 23 cents to 63. That was that final one that I held for 40 minutes, just about 36 minutes. 200%, is that right? Something like that. Yeah, 250. So yeah, and that was just on such a small amount. It's like I could have just. Anyways, thanks for watching. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.